From Hardeep Samal, what are your thoughts on AJ Lee returning? Omar, what was your initial reaction to AJ Lee's return?
Damn it! Fuck! Bitch! No!
My thoughts exactly. What I don't understand is why they insisted on putting AJ back with Paige again when they've literally done this exact same angle twice. They've teamed together and done a respect angle. They turned heel on each other. They teamed together as frenemies. They turned heel on each other again. They tried to kill each other. They traded the title back and forth. They had a SummerSlam match. They had 50 other rematches. They were lesbian lovers. WWE has literally run through every possible scenario that this feud has to offer, and it looks like they're about to do the exact same thing again. The whole situation is weird. AJ and Paige and Bria and Nikki spent half of last year feuding with each other just to team back together at WrestleMania. But the one positive to take out of all of this is that this might be the most significant Divas WrestleMania match since Mickey vs. Trish. Plus, if this means that Stephanie McMahon might finally get involved after AJ's tweets to get behind Nikki again, then that's awesome. Now, I can understand if they don't want Stephanie to be entirely involved because she's doing better things right now, honestly. But all it needs is a couple backstage segments or just have commentary put the story over. I keep stressing this because Nikki Bella as the corporate champion is the story that has the most potential to boost interest in the division. And it's not too late to do it. So just do it already, damn it! Thoughts on Sasha Banks winning the NXT Championship? I always thought that Bayley should have won the title before anyone else, but the good thing is, I think Bayley will for sure be the next one to take the title off of Sasha Banks and get her big emotional title victory. But aside from that, Sasha was the best diva to take the title for Charlotte because she is the most complete diva on NXT. But I don't think that's the reason why they gave it to her. I think the reason why Sasha is the champion right now is because WWE wants to rush Charlotte to the main roster. Otherwise, she'd still be the champion right now.
I think it's awesome that Sasha Banks won the title. She finally gets the championship reign that she finally deserves. But it's like you said, it's all for naught because that means Charlotte's coming up, and Charlotte might be the one that gets the 20-minute matches and the Give Divas a Chance movement. So for right now, I'm going to enjoy Sasha Banks' title reign and not worry about all the excess baggage it comes with.
From Jake Salisbury, how long do you think the Bella Twins have left? I think whenever Brie decides to leave the WWE, Nikki is going to stick around for at least one more year after that to try success on her own. That's why I kind of hate that they put them back together because this could have been Nikki's singles run to prove that she could make it without Brie, but instead, because they put them back together, it kind of killed all the momentum that they both had as singles wrestlers last year. That's why I wish they had kept them apart to build their individual brands. It's not like the Bella brand would have suffered much at all because they're still a unit on Total Divas.
They're not leaving together. MTO and a lot of Nikki Bella fans have John Cena to thank for this. Nikki is going to be around for some years because thanks to John Cena, Nikki is not going to have kids, not going to get married, and that means her career is her focus. Whereas with Brie, I think Brie might be there for another year before she gets pregnant.
From Soccer Kicks 1999, who do you think will be the next diva to leave the WWE? At first I was going to say that it's hard to tell, especially with Total Divas being around to give divas like Rosa, Eva, and Cameron a good platform to help their careers. I was going to say that I don't think I see any of the divas leaving until at least next year. But then I remember that Layla was still on the roster. So I don't care when it happens. I think it's safe to guarantee that Layla will be the next diva to leave the company.
I think one diva that you're sleeping on that I wish I was sleeping with is AJ because, let's face it, she's taken like 3 breaks over the past year. Unless she's going to be like a Brock Lesnar type where she only comes out part-time, I don't see her sticking around for another year.
From ZMJ619, which diva besides Nikki Bella is the total package? I mean, this answer couldn't be any more obvious. It's Summer Rae. And that's the crazy thing about it, is that Summer Rae is everything that WWE looks for in a diva. She has that same it factor that divas like Maryse and Melina had, yet she's still one of the most underused divas on the roster.
As much as it's going to pain MTO to admit it, I'll say it for him. It's AJ Lee. Without a shadow of a doubt. A great wrestler, a great mic worker, great all around. If there's one thing she could improve on, it's originality in her gimmick. Now that she's acting a lot like CM Punk, it's kind of like, But if I can't say AJ, I can't say Nikki. I think the closest one, I might go crazy and say Summer Rae, because it's not that she's a 5-star wrestler. She does a lot of nice stuff in the ring, and she's good enough in the ring to the point where she's on par with how she works in the mic, which is pretty awesome.
Do you think Lana has potential to be a WWE diva? Not only that, but she has potential to be the top heel of the division, because we've never had an anti-American diva like Lana in the WWE. So she can add a completely different element to the division that we've never seen before. Even if she doesn't live up to that potential, I'd still be all for her becoming a diva just to see Lana in tights.
I want to say yes, but she's almost 30. I think she is 30. And she hasn't wrestled a match in her life. I don't think right now would be the best time to start. I think she's perfect in the role that she's in right now. I think she could be in an occasional match, but she shouldn't be a wrestler. She is going to wrestle better than Vicky Guerrero, and Vicky Guerrero was put into her fair share of matches, but hopefully they don't try and force Lana to be a diva.
From Young Thao, do you guys think there will be a Summer Rae versus Paige feud in the future? I think eventually they're going to revisit all the NXT feuds. I think Summer versus Paige is definitely going to be the big feud they go with. That was the first significant diva feud to come from NXT. So they're going to have to revisit that feud eventually. Now, the only question is whether that feud will be just as good as it was on NXT, or whether Summer is going to remain a jobber the rest of her career, and this is just going to be like one of Paige's feuds during her first title reign.
What did you think of the Fatal 4-Way from NXT TakeOver Rival? I don't know how many women's Fatal 4-Ways there have ever been, so I don't think it's going to be much very prestigious, but I think it's the greatest Fatal 4-Way in women's wrestling history. Let's just leave it at that. I don't think I need to say much more than that.
From Fearless Like Nikki. If WWE decided to do a couple of segments with Nikki Bella and John Cena, what should they be about? I think it'd be awesome if one week when John Cena was cutting a promo about how he never gives up, Nikki interrupts him to remind everyone that he gave up on marriage. I think there's a lot of possibilities, like if Nikki was still in the Authority, Stephanie using Nikki to manipulate Cena, or Nikki turning face and feuding with Triple H and Stephanie, or Nikki using her power to make Cena's life a living hell until he proposes to her. She could even make that the stipulation of a match. That'd be pretty funny. There's a lot of potential, from a heel girlfriend angle to a kidnapping angle to a case like with Rusev and Lana where Cena could use the help of another diva as an equalizer, or maybe they could even be a heel power couple. There's a lot of stuff that WWE can do with this to make John Cena more interesting than he's ever been. From Benji Hunter, could Cameron be the top heel of the division? Not unless Nikki, Summer, Eva, Sasha, Alicia, and Charlotte all turn face, and AJ and Paige never turn heel again. Cameron makes a decent heel, but she's not top heel material. I mean, sure, you can say that she has that mean girl personality that divas like Summer Rae and Eve had, but the difference is they also had a fire and a presence that you could take seriously. Can you really say that you take Cameron's character seriously? She's kind of like what The Miz was in 2007, where she's a naturally unlikable person who plays the annoying, loudmouth heel perfectly, mostly because that's who she is in real life, but you're not supposed to take her seriously. I think the role she's in right now is exactly where she should be.
It depends. As a manager, yes. As a wrestler, no. Because even though on Total Divas, it seems like she wants to improve. I think that's all for show. That's all for the cameras. I think if I were to ask her right now if she thought she was good in the ring, she would say yes. And that's where the problem lies. So I don't think Cameron could do it as a wrestler. I could be wrong. You know, there's always the case of late bloomers. So I'm not going to completely shit on her. But for right now, I'm saying not as a wrestler. As a manager, absolutely. She's a heat magnet because you just naturally hate a woman like Cameron.
From our big homie, Mr. Griffin, has Madison Rayne become the Eve Torres of TNA in that she's a better wrestler as a face, but a better personality as a heel? Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty accurate comparison, except if you remember the Brittany James storyline, Madison as a face still acted like a heel, whereas with Eve, she was a diva that had no personality as a face, but then became one of the best heel personalities after her turn. I'd probably compare Madison more to Brie Bella in that when she started out as a heel, she was solid in the ring, but not really anything special. But then as soon as she turned face, you see a completely different side of what she's capable of, and she quickly improves to become one of the best wrestlers in that division.
Eve Torres? Don't you mean Nikki Bella? But I guess it goes either way, you know. I can see where the comparison would come from with Madison Rayne, although I don't know how really creative her character as a heel is. I mean, she's really just annoying, but...
From the Brie Bella, can you do a video on why the Bellas are better than Paige? I've kind of been wanting to do a response video to completely obliterate all those stupid, generic comments that I still get from that video, but if there's one thing I learned about the IWC after those videos, it's that ignorance is curable, but stupid is forever. You know, it's like I said, for some people, perception is their reality. They're not capable of processing any logic or reason that goes against their idea of thinking. So what they'll do is they'll create an excuse in their mind to convince themselves that they're right, no matter how stupid their arguments are. But that's a completely different rant for another time. Long story short, yeah, I'd have no problem making a comparison video, but I'm not sure if it'd really be worth it. I'd at least need a good excuse to get away with doing it. So, if that's what you want, then go ahead and join our pay-per-view prediction game that we do every month. And if you win, then I'll have no choice but to do it. Game 2, can the other guy have his own account? I want this to be only yours. Well, thank you, Game 2. I always knew that you had an eye for talent, but as much as I hate to admit it, the other guy is pretty much carrying this channel right now, because without the other guy, you wouldn't get reviews as often because I really don't care about a lot of what WWE does these days outside of the half-naked woman. But hey, if you wanted to start a hashtag no more Omar and get that trending in the comments, perhaps maybe you'll be lucky enough that he'll send out a tweet to let you know that he hears you.
One thing I gotta say is, you don't have to like it. I didn't come back to be liked. But you're damn sure gonna have to deal with it.